birthday, Howard, birthday, Howard Shai, birthday, Howard, birthday, Howard Shai, Kyle Palati, Howard Boston, Howard Shai, Boston, Howard Kakadash. Double honor to the elder apostle of great military who woo wills, dear citation, I cannot put in the truth to call the four corners of the earth to the fear and power of the Howard Boston, Howard Shai, after your hope will let. Dear citation to the Israelite foreigners that are scattered among all the nations throughout the four corners of the earth that believe in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the sister and family that's tuning into the doctrine that's preached around the whole world. Peace and mercy unto you, and who the world inwardly called God, his name is Yahweh, and who the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai. Is a Hebrew Israelite that consists of still called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, and those who mind the thing that goes to the ones of the 12 tribe of Israel. That's an article on RT.com, which is rushed today. It's America on coup of a civil war. No matter who wins the election, there will be no people transfer of power. And that's correct. Okay. You already have people on the Trump side saying Trump lose, they gonna raise hell, and vice versa on the Biden side. If he lose, those people are gonna raise hell as well, which can lead to a civil war right here in the United States. All right, it could very well go down on election night on Tuesday, November 3rd, which is definitely like 2 weeks away. All right, so it's the we had a failed plot to allegedly kidnap Michigan governor and precursor for a larger political battle over the U.S. future, where opponents lack any common ground and neither side is ready to accept an election result where they lose. All right, so you have the whole it's the case against the member of the Wolverine Watchmen, a Michigan-based militia, is fairly straightforward. They are accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Whitmer, but the effort by leading Democrat, including Governor Whitmer and Joe Biden, to shift the blame onto President Trump is not as cut and dry as they make it. Mm. It says just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these two Michigan militia groups. Governor Whitmer said in a statement after the indictment of 13 suspects in the alleged plot to kidnap her was announced by the FBI. Stand back and stand by, he told them. Stand back and stand by. Hate group, hate group heard the president's word not as a rebuke, but as a rallying cry, as a call to action. All right, which we call buzzword or code word. Okay, it said Whitmer was referring to President Trump's answer during his debate with Joe Biden, and he was asked by the moderator Chris Wallace to condemn white supremacists. While Trump has in the past condemned white supremacists on numerous occasions, he fumbled his response to Wallace, opening the door for his political opponent to accuse him of encouraging rather than condemning the action of white supremacist groups like the Proud Boys, who had been singled out by Wallace and Biden during the debate. All right, so you had that going on. All right, so this is pretty much the Egyptian stat against the Egyptians. All right, we're gonna get that. That's a pretty long article. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. Um, yeah. So yeah, the Egyptians that to get the Egyptians. Okay. The chip. Bear with me for a second. I believe tonight there. I just have to Google it. So, there we go. That's day of 19. It's like day of 19 and 2, and I was at the Egyptians to get the Egyptians, all right, because America, it's known as Egyptians, all right. So the Americans versus the Americans, right, was called the Civil War. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so you have state versus state, city versus city. You might have brother that one brother is for Biden, another brother is for Trump. They're not gonna see eye to eye, and they could be fighting against each other. All right, nothing new under the sun, just like doing uh, the Civil War. The Union versus Confederate. You have family that was fighting against each other. All right, so it's nothing new under the sun, as the scriptures tell you. All right, so now get to the other scriptures. All right. All right. Yeah, this bit right we're here, people not gonna agree with the outcome of the election. All right. This is Second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. The sword, the day will be the gun. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and sword in their hand, which is the gun. All right, where there shall be sedition among men, and evading one another. All right, look at the word sedition real quick. It's the incitement to riot, rebellion. All right, now you look at the next one down. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. All right, which would be the government. All right, what would be the city official or the mayor or the governor, which in this case, an article is mentioned about the Governor Whitmer of Michigan. All right, so those are people that rebelling or rioting against the authorities. All right, and you had the leader of the Proud Boys basically saying, "Go out there and quit your job and do this, and that, and the third," which is causing people to do those things. All right. Read again, verse 15. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their king nor princes. In the court, king could be governor, president, lower, all different type of different level of government people, okay, that they're not going to be regarding. In the court of their actions shall stand in their power, all right. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. I could get so bad out here, they're going to start shutting things down, setting up roadblock, martial law. For because of their pride in the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. The man shall have no pity upon his neighbors, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their good because of the lack of bread. There's going to be a famine and great tribulation. Okay, the only thing going to take place that's soon to happen. Okay, these things are on the horizon. These things are happening. Okay, that's why it could be very, very important to take a close look at election day, election night, and that whole week. All right, it can very well possibly start a civil war out here in the streets. All right, because these people could be upset if Biden wins, and these people could be upset if Trump wins. So either way, you're going to have a group of people that could be upset and not going to be happy with the outcome of the election. So Lord willing, this election caused them a civil war, okay? So the fear and power, how about outside? We know he's controlling all things. All right, so that's why we just sit back as watchmen, stand in our tower, see what's going on in the world of people. All right, so with that, to give you the news, just giving you the prophecies of these things to come. So with that, shalom.